We're joined today by Jin Wei. He's a father of two. And thank you so much for joining us this morning, Jin Wei, on the Light Breakfast.
Morning, thanks for having me.
Now, we want to get your opinion on dads during lockdown. So, before the MCO, how hands-on were you with your children?
Try to be as hands-on as possible. So
Mhm.
before work, I'll sort of get up, shower my daughter, get her ready for kindergarten, take her to school, try to have breakfast with my son in the morning, and then I'm a working dad, so I'll be away from sort of that 8:30, 9 o'clock until 6 o'clock over at night. And then when I come back, probably about 2 hours with them before they go to sleep. So we have dinner, shower, book, milk, all the regular stuff. My kids are 3 or almost 4 years old, and my son is about 14, 15 months. So
Mhm.
he actually had his birthday during the MCO.
Ah.
Um, so he learned how to walk. He's learning how to demand things. But yeah, I try to spend as much time as I can with them weekdays, and then obviously weekends is given up for them. So pretty hands-on, I would say. Not like other dads, but as much as I
Was
can.
it a conscious thing for you to do that? Like when I have kids, I want to be this way with them. I want to be full on in dad mode and stuff.
Um, I think it's important. I think a lot of people don't realize the sort of connection you can have with your child from a very early age. So I think all those little things are important. I mean, you can leave it up to other people to do, but I don't sort of take that approach. I've never sort of grown up that style. So
Mhm.
I grew up in Australia, so things are a little bit different there. So I've sort of brought them up in the same sort of style that I grew up. Yeah.
Well, you worked outstation for the most part back when your daughter was growing up, right? How do you keep the relationship going with her back then? Because if I remember correctly, you were in Malacca from Mondays to Fridays.
Yeah, so I used to do a commute every week. And then actually, in the first 6 months that she was born, my wife, Choi, and my daughter, Leah, would travel with me up and down. But we figured out after a couple of months that that's really not sustainable.
Yeah.
You're not really here and you're not really there, and you can't
You
really
spend
sort
more
of.
time on the road.
Mm.
Yeah, and you're sort of you're unpacking, and then straight away you're packing again, and you're leaving, and you don't really have sort of any sort of friends or community that you sort of deal with. So we decided that it was better for them to be based in KL, and then I'll do the commute. So I used to go down on Monday, sort of come back on Wednesday, and
Mm.
then go down Thursday morning and come back on Friday. So
What?
those Monday,
Wow.
yeah. So those Monday mornings is important. Thursday coming back, Wednesday coming back is important. Thursday morning is going down again. So it's very disjointed. Yeah. Yeah.
Why did you make that decision to go on a Monday, come back on a Wednesday, and then leave again on a Thursday? Why not Mondays to Fridays in
Well, it
Malacca?
changed. I mean, that was the plan every week. That was what I wanted to do. I've done the commute every day for 5 days. So I've gone up and down 5 times in a week, which is probably the max.
Wow.
Um, so the drive to me is just like you driving down the road. It was just such a normal part of life. But yeah, after sort of we had some small changes in our business, and then there was an opportunity for me to move back to KL, which was great. So I've been back in KL now
Mm.
since the start of 2019, and yeah, much better than driving to my office now in Shalam. So people would say from Hatamas to Shalam is a very long distance.
Yeah,
I
I was
I
just
think
about to say, Shah Alam, Hatamas Shah Alam is the same as from KL to Malacca anyway.
it actually to me it's like just down the road. So I'm very
Right.
happy with that. Yeah, it's a good outcome for me.
But
And
how did you?
I don't think it would have worked like since my son was born in April 19. Uh, I don't think my wife would have coped very well if I had to keep doing the commute. So it's been really good for me and the family, so we can spend more time. Yeah,
But how did you keep fatherhood through the commutes, through the being away from home?
yeah, a lot of FaceTime. FaceTime with small children is really not the best anyway.
Yeah.
But just do your best, and whatever time you get to spend with them, then I would. So yeah,
Mm.
that's sort of how you handle
Because I
it.
was wondering about that. I mean, are you the disciplinarian in the family?
Uh, Sometimes depends.
Because how do
Depends.
you discipline your kids through FaceTime though, right? That
Yeah,
doesn't
yeah,
work.
no, that doesn't work. That doesn't work. So the small snippets of time that you get, you've got to be tough on them on certain things. But my wife and I take a pretty liberal approach to the kids. We sort of let them find their way.
Yeah.
So so yeah, I mean, everyone's got their style. There's nothing right, nothing wrong. That's just how we are, right? So
Right.
we're not those very like scream at them until they eat. I mean, of course we have screaming, of course we have crying and all the normal things, but just try to do what we think is best. Yeah.
But like with my husband, when he is outstation, when he's at work, and then he comes back, he doesn't reprimand the kids for anything because he's like, I don't spend enough time with them, so I'm not going to waste my time just scolding them when I'm at home. Do
Yeah,
you
yeah.
have that?
Fun dad.
Well, yeah, you have the mindset, right?
Yeah.
But sometimes kids just like to push it, and so you gotta draw the line in the sand somewhere. Otherwise, I'll lose my pace in the pecking order. I'll end up, right at the bottom of the heap. So I've got to, stake the claim when I come back now and again.
Now, Jin Wei, what was the most challenging thing that you've experienced when you've had to stay home with the kids 24/7 during MCO?
Yeah, so obviously after the MCO went down in middle of March, I think I've been commuting to work for so long, and then obviously even now since I'm in KL, I'm also commuting to work. So I have that sort of half an hour to sort of wind down after work or going to work. And now I'm working at home, or I have been working at home. It's completely different, right? So you walk out, you can't. I couldn't sort of differentiate between office and home,
Mm.
and which was bad. I maybe I have a bad day or a bad meeting or some things have gone wrong, and then I sort of take that like one step
Mm.
out my door, I'm already at home, and I can't take that, and it's not fair on the family if you're like that. So that took a bit of adjustment.
Mm.
And I do enjoy being at work. I mean, Zoom calls are great, but it's just not the same as being in a work environment. So things are not as efficient, or in my circumstance, things were not as easy to handle. But I found that quite challenging, especially in the first few weeks. And just as we're sort of getting a hang of it, now we can sort of head back to the office and,
We were
and,
just
and do
saying
those sort
that,
of
yeah.
things. Yeah, I've been going to the office now for about a month, so yeah, it's a slow change back, but I guess everyone's going through it differently.
How about with the kids? What are some of the challenges of working from home with the kids all around you all the time?
Yeah, I think everyone's had that exciting, you're having a very important conference call with a customer or a client, and then you have your kids banging at the door, screaming and like beating each other down. But I mean, this is the normal challenges, I guess, working at home. Um, Sometimes the wife calls you to handle things while she's got errands, and so yeah, I guess it's just sort of supporting each other and helping out as much as you can.
I wonder how the kids feel. I'm like, oh no, dad's around a lot more now. We can't mess around much.
Oh, I think they like it. I think they like it. They got someone else to push around instead of just my wife. Yeah, no,
But
it,
have
I
you have you lost your cool yet with them?
oh
Uh,
yeah, yeah, of course.
Plenty of time.
We all have.
More
My,
often,
my
more often during the MCO or not?
well, you are around each other a lot. I wouldn't say more often. I would say it's just the same as normal. But I guess the kids also going through a bit of changes, right? So they do get that break, going to school every day, being with other people. I've noticed that during the MCO, since my daughter's basically only seen the faces of, let's say, my wife, myself, they don't really they haven't really interacted with any other people.
Mm.
So we've just sort of taken her out to the park recently or visited friend's house for a swim, and you notice that they're so excited. And last week we visited a friend, and creeping in a small group, and she was just so excited to be out and seeing other people. And she even told me before she went to she's almost 4 years old. She told me, "Oh, I was just so happy to spend the day outside, and I had such a great time. Can we do it tomorrow?" Like, so they're very interactive. Even the day that we visited Bel as
Yeah.
well, we went around and
Yeah, Dylan asked for Leah. It's like, when's
yeah,
Leah coming back to my
yeah,
house?
yeah. So I mean, it's just seeing something different. Kids are like sponges. They pick up they pick up learning from everywhere, not only from the parents but also from other children, seeing what they do. Younger children, older children, they need that interaction. Even us as adults, being stuck at home, only seeing the couple of people that we see, it's not fun.
Actually, on that note, because Bella and I have had conversations about this, and she said I need some adult interaction at some point because I'm speaking to my kids so much. It seems like I only know kids speak right now.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. And then all you hear about, all we do is talk to our kids and read the news, right? You can't do anything about it. You're just stuck at home, right?
Yeah.
You can't talk about it. You can't vent about it. It's not a good thing.
Did you and Choi have some sort of a routine or schedule during the MCO? Like, for example, if you have to work from home, she will be taking care of the kids, and then when she has to run some errands, you'll be taking care of the kids. Was there a set schedule?
Yeah, pretty much. So 8:45 or 8:30, I would go in the room, lock the door, and I wouldn't see them until sort of lunchtime, which is about 12. Go out an hour and then go back in, and it would sort of go from there. And then obviously, if we had to run errands, we had to go supermarket shopping, we had to duck down to the shops to get something. We would just sort of work it out. So I think a lot of, especially business owners, have realized that people can be pretty efficient when they want to be. So as long as people are getting the work done and things are happening, then people are okay. So I was sort of in an industry that wasn't so affected by this sort of the virus. So we were pretty much continuing through the whole time. So for us, it was almost like business as usual. So we had to sort of keep up that level of service for our customers, our clients, and things like that.
Now, speaking of running errands and buying groceries as head of the household, did you have to go out on grocery runs by yourself? How was that experience?
I wouldn't say I'm the head of the household. Yeah.
Why not?
I don't
Who
know.
is the head of the household?
somewhere between my son and my daughter, I think. No, we're just the errand people. No, I like to cook anyway. So obviously during MCO, do a lot more cooking, and I find it therapeutic. My daughter likes to cook, so we kind of try to do it together when we can. And so I didn't mind ducking down to the shops, and it was nice to get out of the house. To be honest, that was the only thing we could really do.
So you used to cook even before MCO and before lockdown.
Yeah. I try
so
to.
You
cook
used to buying groceries and everything, and
yeah.
Supermarkets.
That's normal for me. But I wasn't doing it much when normally we're at work. My wife will handle it. But during MCO, sometimes I'll do it. Sometimes she would do it. We sort of take turns. It was an outing, So something to look forward to. Wow, I'll get to go outside, see people. Choose things from the shelf. It's great. Like
because a lot of
toilet
men
paper
were.
to choose.
I think it was in the news where men were confused with like what veg is what fish is what.
Yeah. You always see all these guys in the supermarket, like with their face, like they're like
FaceTime.
WhatsApp calling someone, and they're like, "Oh, this vegetable or this vegetable," and they were so confused. But I do it regularly. I definitely made some mistakes as well. Not to say I always buy the wrong thing. My wife's like, "Oh, go and buy this." I'll end up with something else. But it is what it is, right? We'll survive. It's not that bad.
But having to, work from home, did you discover anything about your children since you've spent more time with them during this whole lockdown period?
Yeah, I think kids, like I mentioned before, my son learned to walk during this period. He had his first birthday. I guess we just tried to keep things as normal for them as possible.
Yeah.
And I think for him, he's probably the least affected in terms of he obviously doesn't go out that much anyway. He's so young. But I think they still need to go outside. They still need that interaction. That's what I've learned. And we can do as many Zoom calls and classes online, but it's nothing like actually having human interaction with people. And my family is actually based in Australia, so we were actually contemplating on going back to Perth before the lockdown happened in Malaysia, and we decided to pull the plug on that because we felt that being at home was much better. So in the end, I think it was, and they haven't seen their grandparents in 4 or 5 months, and that's a long time. My parents used to fly over every sort of 2 months to see them. And yeah, we have FaceTime, yes, we have all these video calls, but it's just not the same, and they really miss each other, really, really miss each other. I think family is so important during these times. You see, as soon as there's a lockdown, everyone just sort of gravitates to their families. I think that's the most important thing, having that connection between everyone. And fortunately, we've had support from my mother-in-law, so she's based in KL, so she's been able to come over and see the kids. So she didn't come over for about the first 2 weeks of the MCO. Then after that, after she was sort of clear, then we let her come over, and then we spend more time, and we've seen her almost every day. She's been great. Without her, I think the kids would be sick. They're more sick of us probably. Yeah.
But how about for yourself as a father? Did you discover anything spending more time with the kids? Like, how did that make you as a father, or how did that change you as a father?
Yeah, I love my wife more, Bel. I love my wife more. Yeah, because I think being a stay-home mom or dad, people just sort of categorize it as something, but it's a full-time job. I'm more tired staying at home taking care of my kids than I am when I go to the office, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's mentally, it's physically and mentally draining, and it's every day. And yeah, I respect people that do it even more now than before, especially my wife. So yeah.
But I mean, you are there for Kian's first steps, you're there for his first birthday. Maybe you weren't there. Were you there during Leah's first steps or
First anything.
first anything? Yeah.
Yeah. I guess a bit more. Yeah, a bit more. But I mean, I was there for Leah in other ways as well. So yeah, I mean, I missed out small things here and there, but at the end of the day, obviously we prioritized her birthdays and things like that. She had a fantastic birthday. This year we have 4 or 5 people for her birthday, or for Kian's birthday, and Leah's birthday was like a huge party and all that sort of thing. So it's a different experience for them. Yeah.
What's it like being a lockdown dad? I mean, like you mentioned that your son, who's like 1 right now, and this is all he knows. Lockdown is just very normal, very different to how we were when we were growing up. Sure. What do you tell him when he grows up slightly? Like when Daddy was growing up, it was not like this. Do you ever think about how you're gonna what you're gonna tell him about this time?
Yeah, I think everyone's talking about the new norm, right? So we're still getting used to it as adults, and I think the children he probably doesn't know any different. He'll probably just grow it up as if it's normal. But for us, we're actually adapting. Actually, probably the most impacted would be my daughter. So she's seen both sides of it, right? She's seen it fully open. Everyone's able to do whatever they want. If you want to travel, you can travel. Let's go away this weekend. Let's go away next weekend. Let's take a flight. She's experienced all those sort of things, traveling. Whereas my son hasn't really traveled all that much since he was born. So I think it's quite different. And so she's probably experiencing more changes than him. And not having, like I said, not having that interaction to grandparents, to cousins, to to other people that she's been so close with. Suddenly those people are chopped out of her life because she just can't see them. So I guess we have to make do. We have other friends to see, we have other people to visit, so I guess we have to fill the voids with others, I guess. Not much choice. Yeah.
After having to spend so much time with your kids, do you think being a stay-at-home dad is an option that you consider in the future?
He's laughing.
I think if you're given the choice, I would prefer not. I could do it, but not something that I would revel in, I guess. I still enjoy my work. I'm still enjoying the opportunities that have been given to me. So yeah, while that's still available, I better keep doing it.
But now that you're back at work, do you feel like you've changed after this whole experience? Do you help out at home more? Do you help your wife more?
No, that's why I said I respect my wife even more than last time. So yeah, you treasure those times that you spend together for sure. And I think I think sometimes absence does make the heart grow fonder as well. So sometimes you need a break. I think everyone needs a little bit of time
Yeah.
on their own. Like even like I was saying during MCO, my wife and I would have little breaks here and there where maybe she would go out for supermarket shopping, because you can't, just being stuck at home for weeks on end without any sort of space to think, or to get out and do your own thing. It's not healthy as well. So I think that's still needed, which I guess we're all getting back into the swing of life, as sort of the lockdown sort of eases. So I think everyone's going through that slowly, and you see some people have been going back to work for a month, and some people are just starting now. So everyone's at different levels and feeling different about things. So it will take time. It will take time for sure.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Jin Wei, you're pretty modern kind of dad and you help out a lot at home and with the kids. But what advice would you give to those more traditional dads who think that, this is not my area of expertise? You handle everything. Even though I'm at home the whole entire day, you still have to handle everything else.
Yeah.
What
Well,
advice would you give to these traditionalists?
no, I think everyone has their own way of bringing up their kids. I was brought up in a certain environment. My wife is also brought up in a certain environment. We have our certain ideologies on things, but I don't think that works for everyone. I think you have to figure out what works for you. And I guess if you're more traditionalist dad, maybe more hands off, when you're at home, you don't really have a choice. Like you have to sort of take on a slightly different role, and probably you see a little bit of the other side, and learn a little bit from that. And I guess we can always be better parents, so it's always a good opportunity to learn and to figure out things about our kids. I think the only way to know your children better or have that good relationship is to spend as much time as you can with them, and even doing the most simple things, showering them, or just sitting down with them for a little while. It's a different experience, and you learn things every day from them. You understand why they get angry, you understand why they get sad, you understand what makes them happy. So you really understand how they tick, and I think that's important thing to being a better parent. It's not, you just can't. If someone just keeps yelling at you all the time, telling you what to do, I was probably brought up in a what you call more traditional family, where the my mother was the matriarch, so she would always tell us what to do, and in the end, it has different effects on people, and we're all different, right? So I guess staying home, spending more time with the kids, definitely gives you an opportunity to understand your children better, and then maybe teach them better